Hello everyone, my name is Seth, and today I want to give you my review of Everything, Everywhere, All at Once. Alright, before we get started, I want to go ahead and remind you, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, and hit the bell icon so you can get notified whenever I upload a new video. Everything, Everywhere, All at Once came out last year, and unfortunately, it was actually one that I missed in theaters, but shout out to one of my friends at work. He allowed me to borrow his copy. I watched it the other night. You know, it's Oscar season. I've been wanting to catch up on some of the films I might have missed, and Everything, Everywhere, All at Once has been nominated for 10 Oscars. And let me tell you, in my opinion, it deserves all of those nominations. If you're someone like me who unfortunately missed it in theaters the first go around, I would recommend checking around at your local theaters because it might still be playing. You know, they've started playing some more of the Oscar movies recently, and so there's a decent chance that you might find a theater where this is playing in, and I would absolutely recommend going to see it. If I had to make a pull quote for this movie, sweet, short, right to the point, I would say that this is wonderfully weird and surprisingly heartfelt. It's always tough whenever you hear so much hype behind a movie. Can it live up to the hype? It's always tough whenever a movie's talked about and enjoyed and hyped up by so many people like this is. But for me, it absolutely does live up to the hype. This film is such a wild ride. The editing, everything in between from start to finish is so interesting, and it takes you on a journey. This movie just sucked me right in right from the beginning. Now, I'm probably going to get into a little bit of spoilers just because it's been so long since it's come out. You've probably already seen it. I'm probably one of the last people to actually get around to seeing it. But like I said earlier, I'm so thankful that I did. I did not want this to be a blind spot in my film watching. The character work that they do at the beginning and all throughout the movie, but specifically in the beginning, the character work that they do and the way all of these actors are portraying their characters, it pulls you in and you don't even question it for a second when everything starts opening up and you have the multiverse and a whole bunch of craziness. Like, you are so connected to these characters and you care about them. It would be easy to lose the audience with all of the crazy things that they do, but the strong character work and the extremely strong performances is what keeps this whole thing grounded, even though it's literally, like the title has said, dealing with everything. Right from the beginning of the film, I could tell each shot took so much care, so much attention. They were telling a story even if they didn't use dialogue. And for parts of the movie, that's literally true. There's a universe that you go to where there's just two rocks and there's no dialogue, nothing. You just see text on the screen with the rocks, and like, it is so incredibly well done. If you haven't seen the movie, you hear me telling you that, you might think that's really weird. Maybe you can't imagine how that would work, but it absolutely works. This movie kind of gives you everything you want. It is so heartfelt. It has a big, larger-than-life story. It kind of has, like, the hero's journey, like the traditional hero's journey. All of the actors in this portray their characters perfectly. Ke Huy Quan as Wayman is absolutely incredible. He's one of my favorite characters in movies over the last few years. And they do something I feel like is so important with his character. He does an amazing job with every variation of himself that he plays. It's completely wild. He absolutely deserves to get nominated for Best Supporting Actor. I fell in love with his character within like the first 10 seconds of him being on screen. He's just so endearing, and he ends up playing different versions of his character from different universes. And the way he can switch different characters in and out right there in the middle of a scene, it's mind-boggling. It's awesome. It's so well done, and I give so much credit to him for being able to pull that off. Michelle Yeoh was awesome. She also absolutely deserves her Oscar nomination. She is a big part of what helps this movie work as well as it does. I think maybe my favorite sequence in the whole movie is when they go to the IRS office and everything's really starting to kick off. The story's really starting to kind of roll along, starting to learn about the multiverse and everything. And Wayman from another universe, he has that fight scene with his fanny pack in the IRS office. That's one of my favorite sequences in the whole movie. Like I said, it does so many things well. Not only does it give you a heartfelt story, not only does it take some of these abstract concepts and just explain them really well. They do things in this that you really can't do in any other medium. But the fight scenes are all awesome. These are some of the best fight scenes in all of last year, really. And it doesn't come from a comic book movie. It doesn't come from a James Bond or an action movie, Fast and Furious, whatever. Like I mentioned before, this was nominated for Best Screenplay. I absolutely agree with that. One point when I was watching this where I just thought, I bet the script for this was crazy. This would be such a hard script to write based off of what I saw translated to the screen. And it starts with the script. Everything starts with the script. The script is so well done, and it absolutely deserves that nomination. I'm sure you might get tired of hearing me say that, but really, everything here deserves a nomination. I haven't seen all the Oscar nominees so far this year to be able to say for sure if it deserves to win at this point, but I can absolutely say that it deserves to be nominated. And through some of the silliness that they have, like I said, with the rocks and with the universe where everybody's fingers are hot dogs, they are able to talk about some really complex themes, and through the editing, through the characters, just through the storytelling, the cinematography, everything, it's really something to behold. Like, I honestly am blown away. One of the big themes that is talked about is like, oh, nothing really matters. Like, what's the point? What's the point of going on? What's the point of caring when even the good things in life will turn to hurt? Like, the good things won't last, so what's the point? And they kind of come with this conclusion that if nothing matters in the whole grand scheme of things, then really every little thing matters. Because if you have an interaction with somebody, they will be gone 1,000 years from now. You will be gone 1,000 years from now. So what matters? Well, you have that one opportunity to be kind and to make a connection. And I love the message behind that. Throughout the movie, Evelyn sees Wayman as kind of weak or naive, and she basically learns, and he kind of tells her, I'm not naive, I'm not dumb, this is how I fight. I choose to be optimistic. I choose happiness. And I love that. She starts to see things more his way. And there's this whole kind of fight scene at the end where she says, I'm gonna fight how you fight. And through multiverse shenanigans, she ends up having this fight scene, but she's doing nice things for everybody. That's something unique about this movie. Is the whole big climactic fight scene leading up to the end is something where it's kind of like the antithesis of what we were doing earlier. Instead of fighting to hurt people, to kind of brute force your way through a goal, you're doing good things for people. Film hits everybody in different ways. You know what? You might watch this and you might hate it. That's okay. That's what film is. It's art. All film is subjective. It's okay if you don't like it. It's okay if I don't like something you like. That's completely okay. Maybe I'm misreading the film, but my interpretation of it is not that nothing matters. It's that the small things matter. The small things, the connections you make, kindness that you show to others, happiness that you choose for yourself, trying to look at things in a more positive manner, not being naive, not ignoring things, but taking account of situations, taking account of what's going on around you, how others feel. That's important. Understanding that and still choosing to look on the bright side of things. Always look for the silver lining behind the cloud, you know? So yeah, long story short, I love Everything Everywhere All at Once. I would absolutely recommend it. Check around, see if it's still playing in any theaters. I absolutely would recommend seeing it in a theater. I wish I had got the chance to. You can rent the film online, find somebody who has a copy that'd be willing to let you borrow it. Anything. I would absolutely recommend seeing this movie. I liked it really a lot more than I was expecting to. I kind of was a little bit cynical going into it, honestly, thinking, well, how good can it really be? Will it really live up to the hype? Well, I definitely think that it did. And again, I can't recommend it enough. I give it 4.5 stars out of 5. And this movie makes me feel super positive. It's heartfelt. The characters are awesome. The story is so well told. Everybody does their job amazingly. I can't say enough good things about it. I absolutely recommend it if you have not seen it already. And that is my review of Everything Everywhere All at Once. So thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate it. Go ahead and hit the like button, hit subscribe, hit the bell so you know when I upload my next video, and I'll see you next time.